Game started.
I got a game already. Abdo from Libya. Okay, well, let's try e4 again. I think I got Scandinavian last time, so let's see if we had a more traditional opening. No. b6 is an interesting opening, though. It's very tactical. I have to look up the name of it afterwards. You can go into a Queen's Indian from here with e6 and knight f6. But there's this funny line where you play the move f5, trying to distract this pawn and take here, which has white has counter tactics like queen here check. So very complicated line. But this is a straightforward way to play. So just piling up pressure on the e pawn. And we'll see how he continues to undermine it. But yeah, if he plays e6, this is just a Queen's Indian defense. And I haven't played the move c4, which I would normally play in a Queen's pawn opening. So maybe maybe Black has accomplished something. I did that pretty quickly. He's winning a pawn here, right? Well, we'll see if this is any good. You don't know if these early pawn grabs are any good, but let's not lose more than one pawn. I've got a loose pawn here on c3. And if I defend with bishop d2, then he can just trade it off. So I want to keep the bishop pair. I want to defend c3. Maybe queen to e1. Just threaten to take that knight. And then bishop to a3, trying to interfere with his right to castle here. Yeah, so he just retreated. And I'll grab this diagonal, and well, we'll see what we get. I have the bishop pair and an open file, and he has an extra pawn. So I probably have some compensation, but I wouldn't be surprised if, if Black was actually better here. But, well, I'm going to just get my pieces out and play like I meant to. Play like I meant this. So now maybe c4, c5, and go after the undefended bishop on b7. Oh, he just takes. Okay. Well, now I've got both bishops and a messed up pawn structure. Let's see. And I have queen here hitting the rook. Of course, the knight's guarding that. So, but bishop here, knight takes, queen here. May be interesting in some cases. First, let's put the king over here and put a rook on the g file. So I have two rooks on open files and two bishops on good diagonals. This should be worth something. His queen is not yet out. The danger is that I'll get mated over here, which could happen. Okay, so the knight can come into this square. Well, now we have this situation where queen to e4 is a double attack. It threatens checkmate. And it threatens... Oh, it does not threaten the rook, though. The rook is defended. Still, queen e4. How is he going to defend? He could just take his knight back, or he could play f4. Or he could play g3. I think any of these moves would be a bit weakening. This also stops his queen from coming in for the moment. Yeah, so maybe bishop c1 to h6 is an idea. This diagonal was no longer looking very promising. It was kind of a slow plan to push the c-pawn forward. It takes two moves to get up here. It would have helped bring this bishop to life, but now that he's created some weaknesses over on the king side, probably just getting directly over here is better. So the bishop could go to g5 or could go to h6. Either one of those looks interesting. There's also rook g5. How about bishop h6, rook g5, rook to g1. Then to just threaten to take that knight because of the pin on the king. You know, there's also rook to rook b5 directly threatens to take the knight. He can block with these pawns though, and then the rook would be stuck over here. He can block with tempo. Okay, so and bishop to g5 here, he can play f6. And I don't know if that really helps me any to have played that. So how about bishop to h6? That at least gains a tempo on his rook. His rook will have to move. I could have considered the move d5 there, but he could play e5. d5 would take advantage of the pin, his queen being undefended on e7. Okay, well, he's stopping to think anyway. I'm still looking at his rook in the corner, but the rook has been defended this whole time by his queen and now by his rook. Okay, f4, yeah, f5 rather. Kicking my queen. And you know, this created a weakness on d6 here, e6 I guess. So how about if I drop back to e2? Now I could threaten rook e1 and queen takes e6. That would be good for me, I think. If he pushes on with e5, I can exchange. Well, that kind of helps him a little bit. Maybe still rook to g5 and rook to g1 is the way to go. He pushes on with e5 here. It weakens the f4 and these pawns, and the pressure on the g file might amount to something. Okay, he lifted his rook. Okay, but my queen is no longer on this diagonal, so that was pretty clever. He kicks my queen with f5 to get it off the diagonal, and then he lifts his rook. So let's see. So rook e1 to threaten here, but he probably just pushes. So I think I like this plan. And rook to g5. Rook g5, rook g1. I'm threatening to take the knight, and I can also threaten things like maybe pawn to d5 to undermine the f-pawn here, and try and open up things towards his king. I can't use my pawns as battering rams, so I have to find ways to sacrifice pieces, at least the way it's set up now. Maybe if this knight weren't here, I could play pawn to h5. Ah, okay, so he's going for this, and that wins the. That does win the bishop. I forgot when I played the rook here. I was counting on my bishop on h6 guarding this square, and when I played rook g5, it interferes with that. Okay, do I have something other than queen to d3? Got to move the queen. I don't need to protect the bishop. I could move the queen somewhere else. But actually it seems best to keep the queen on the d file, e file rather, queen e3. If he goes knight to he could go knight to d5, kick the queen again, but then the queen just goes to d2. I don't think that's a problem. And now with the knight out of the way, I do have the idea of pawn to h4 to h5. It's looking kind of interesting. I want to play rook g1 first and then pawn h4, h5. And his advanced f pawn has weakened the g pawn. And my pieces here are blockading. Well, he keeps finding interesting moves. Okay, so rook back to g3, hitting the knight. Where does it go from there? Maybe rook g3, then queen to h5 is his idea. Well, let's think about this. Rook g3, queen h5 leaves the e-pawn hanging with check. So I don't think that's any good. Yeah, I'm a little surprised by that. I think, oh, I know what his idea was. His idea was to play pawn here. Pawn to f4 forks my rook and my queen. I just saw that. So let's see, bishop takes, knight takes. Yeah, that's not good. And the knight is even defending. The knight is even defending after bishop takes, knight takes. The knight is defending g6. Unfortunately, otherwise I could consider a sacrifice here. So let's see. Is there some great move with the queen? Yeah, I don't see it. There is, bishop here hitting his queen, but his knight can take it. And knight takes, pawn takes queen, rook takes knight, pawn takes queen. Does not look good either. Okay, well, let's play what you got to play. And here, maybe I can chase the knight away. Still double on the g file. I have some pressure here. Yep, I got to watch out for those forks. Forks, skewers, pins, and other tactics. Oh, you know what I had that I should have considered? The queen here hits the rook in the corner. Let's back up. In this situation, after knight takes, yeah, queen here hits the rook in the corner. Even before that, in this situation, pawn here forking my pieces. Yeah, queen here hits the rook in the corner. That's still undefended and goes with check. He could play d5 there and hit my queen, yeah. So maybe it doesn't work, and then I lose the knight. Lose the rook. Okay, so he defended that way. So pawn takes. Let's see, I'm going to double on the g file first. If he takes, I will take back with the queen. Still queen to e4 here doesn't, hitting the rook, it doesn't threaten anything on the g file. But if I sacrifice something on the g file, then maybe it will. Okay, let's see what he's got here. Okay, he takes the bishop. So my idea was to take with the pawn. Keep the queen on the d file. Once again, yeah, if he takes, I'm going to take with the queen. I don't want to trade queens, obviously, here. So rook takes, pawn takes, rook takes, check. And he can't interpose easily. But he can play there. Okay, so let's drop back. Very annoying that he keeps having these ways of... you can take there. Yeah, that's very annoying. And... yeah, so he blockaded the diagonal, so the sacrifice on g6 didn't look very attractive. It also defended g6, defended this pawn. So this pawn is going, and nothing I can do about it. Let's see. Well, I can pin the rook. The rook is pinned against the king here. Save my pawn for a moment. Maybe play d4 here, kicking the knight away. Okay, that hits my queen. See, if I drop back along this diagonal, he can close it off. Yeah, I guess he can take here now. He just keeps kicking the queen. Okay, so where do I want to go with the queen? Go here, it just falls into this tactic. And the knight here is a fork. I'm not sure why he isn't just taking. But it is a good square for the knight. I want to chase that knight away from that square. Pawn here, knight moves, and then I'll get my queen off the d file once again. I don't want to trade queens. Pawn here, I take it. If he plays pawn d4, I take it. Okay, so now he just takes. So that it makes sense. And unfortunately, what this means is my queen is under attack and my rook is under attack. So I have to take the queen, and I don't want to. And then, well, I'll get this rook out of the way. You can just play check here. Or there, he's going after the pawns. See, if I go here for the knight, has knight check here, king here. Let's see, if I move that forward, he can just put his rook behind it. Let's try and open up some lines here. Maybe I'll get some tactics going, who knows. Oh, he just takes there, okay.
Checkmate.
Okay, well, that was an interesting game. We'll upload this and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.